morning, everyone. This week, we worked on identifying how we will implement our idea about our project real time. And we did meet together during this week and identified what all we need to do to open the business that we are thinking about, and what all steps would we need to follow, and how would we implement it in a real scenario. So we came up with a detailed implementation plan. It will start with the thorough market research, and it will end with identifying the day-to-day activities that we would do in our restaurant. And in between the two steps, we would have multiple other things that we would need to do to get to the implementation. But we will go through these steps in details in the further slides. So for the initial step, like I mentioned, is studying the market. Here we will identify for our, we would be opening a business of restaurants, which is very common. How are we different from the other restaurants? How are we different from everybody else? And here I think the main thing that will make us different from others would be the fact our main core value, the one that we are assigning to our business, is that we would be feeding the poor and the homeless as a part of what we are going to do. We will also identify our target customers, we will analyze the competitors, and we will also identify what rules and regulations and licensing is required to open the business. Brand identity, we have already come up with the name of our restaurant. That's the Altruists, which means that we are selfless. But however, we will still need we will need to hire a professional to do some designing and creating a brand logo, and we will need to go for a copyright and brand naming. Location. So we are initially thinking of opening the restaurant in DC near Metro Center, because we feel that it is a mix of commercial, entertainment, and residential area, and it would be a good place to open it in. But once that would be the start of our basic business. And once we expand, we would like to consider multiple other locations as well, like Beachfront North, Beachfront South, any hotel campuses, or Broadway. Now Saraswati will talk about budget and finance plans.
Thank you, Shreya. Okay. Now, going back to this detailed implementation plan, Shreya has already explained the major points here. I just wanted to take you through our implementation plan step by step. First, Shreya has already explained the market research part already. So, first thing we are going to do is the market research. Second thing is designing our logo for to set up our brand identity. Then location hunting, Shreya has already explained about it. Then comes the finances. So this is the main part which exactly we'll do, like gathering and planning the finances in a proper way, so that it helps us in a successful implementation of our business. This part I'll be explaining in another 2 minutes. After gathering the finances, what we are going to do is we are going to hire a lawyer or an attorney who will help us procure all the legal documents, licenses, and copyrights which we'll be needing to implement our business. And the next thing is setting up the restaurant ambience and hiring of employees. What we are planning is to hire 50% of interns and 50% of experienced employees, which will lower the cost of our employees thing that will add up to the finances. The next thing we are going to do is plan a solid marketing strategy. Of course, marketing is really needed for our business to solidify our business basically. And then comes the grand opening, and then the marketing will be in the process even after the opening, and then we will engage ourselves in day-to-day business activities for the betterment of our business. So now I'm going to explain how we are going to plan our finances. This is what we have thought about we are going to rent our business, what we say, location. I mean the building or the space. We are going to rent it. We are not going to buy it as of now. So what we have thought is the security deposit will come usually somewhere around $10,000 to $12,000. That's the first month of the rent. This is actually the plan of the first month which we have planned, and the first month rent will be $10,000 to $12,000, and the utility services, phone bills, and internet and all will come somewhere around $2,500. Now we have thought of remodelizing our business space. I mean, we may not like it the way we buy. That's what we have thought. So we have planned to remodelize it or customize it. So it will be somewhere around $150 to $250. This might go a little bit higher or a little bit less, but maybe this is what we have. As per our market research, this is what we have got. The cost would come up to, and furnitures, tables, and all, it will cost somewhere around 40,000, and then the kitchenware and equipment and all somewhere around 80,000. And initial supply of food and beverages we have thought somewhere around 8,000. And now these are the miscellaneous expenses like insurance, licenses, and somewhere around ordering and payment, all these things. And these are the marketing cost, like creating menu pamphlets, and then our business cards, and then ad coupons and everything. And these are the advertising cost, like media, newspapers, and then all will somewhere around $6,000. And this is what we have thought. The grand opening would cost $15,000. The grand opening party. Next slide.
So just to add to this, the
Yeah.
major cost that we are thinking would be would account for the rent of the location that we have chosen, as well as the remodeling of the location, and it would all in all would account to
350.
to something to be in the range of
400.
$300,000 to $400,000.
And what we are planning. Okay, next slide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what we are planning is we will share the 50% of the grand total. We all partners together will equally share the 50% of the grand total, and the 50% of the grand total will be taken from bank as a loan. That's what we have thought, and we will keep our doors open for investors all the time. So coming to the marketing plan, what we have thought of initially, we will be publishing brochures and banners and distribute to the locals, and because of course we think the locals will be our first customers. And now as suggested by Model, this is the plan which we have, that once in a week we will be setting up a pay it forward theory, which Model has already explained in the last week. Now we will go with the general marketing media, that is newspaper ads and magazine ads we will be doing. Then the social media, of course, blogs, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and email marketing will be doing. And then we have plans to join the local business communities too. And then we will also offer coupon codes and offers through all possible medias like Groupons and Living Social and all those. And then we will be organizing parties and events to take feedbacks from our customers and our competitors too, to improve our services and contacts. So that's all for today. Thank you.
Okay. Great. Okay, feedback. Remember the 3 parts of feedback on what was actually presented, the plans for the restaurant and so on, the process that they are using to be sure that they do it well and engage all the right people, the control people, those who are going to have influence, and then those who are going to be affected by the restaurant. What's the process for keeping all those in? And then just stepping back from it a bit, doing the appreciative work of, well, what does all this mean? What does it mean for them? What does it mean for their stakeholders? And what does it mean for the community? They're all topics for feedback and possible questions for you.
Before giving feedback, I just wanted to add one more point in this slide is we are also planning to hire a professional advisor because we are not professional as of now. This is what a rough figure we have actually created, but we are also planning to hire an advisor who would help us lower this cost and help us create more contacts who can help with marketing and giving us good costs with the rents and all.
Really good, you went into great detail. Pretty much every single part of the project, like the rental space, the amount of money you're gonna need for
Prince,
marketing.
you're hardly registering on the sound on the video. Okay.
So I was saying that I think they went into great details for each and every single part of the project, and that you guys covered everything. Marketing, the rent,
Do you think this
lawyers.
will work?
Sorry?
Do you think this will work?
I think it will work.
I think you might have some losses at first, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so for the first few months, we would have to monitor our expenses, and we might have to, even if we are taking the loan, we might have to pay from our pockets to manage that before we start getting into the profits. So,
Okay.
So we are actually prepared for that. That we'll have to keep some buffer to spend.
You should at least keep 3 to 4 months buffer so that you can figure it out properly.
Absolutely. See, you cannot expect profit from the first month itself.
Yes.
Definitely they take some
And
time.
it's a restaurant business. The
Yeah.
main thing it's a restaurant business, so it depends on the people. How people appreciate your work. Otherwise, your plan and your project is really, really, really very nice. And you have gone through each and every detail. No one can, I don't think no one can figure out something mistake in it.
Yeah. And regarding the people you are saying, we do have all the plans to convince people. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't have doubts that they will question our plan because we are going with the cause.
yes, there would be some opposition as well, but we will have to convince them to.
No, I'm not talking about the opposition. I'm talking about the publicity.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about the publicity. If people like your taste, then your negative part will also convert into a positive. You know.
Yeah, that is what we have
Yeah.
done through in the market research too, like analyzing the people in our area, like what are their. First of all, we have plans.